Hey guys, it's Miss Anderson here. Welcome to part two of our data collection. And I'm making this video because I want to give a few more examples and hopefully to clarify the types of data collection methods that you are going to use pertaining to your project. So at first I was giving my project as an example and then allowing you to do the independent thinking and how that applies to yours. But I'm just going to go ahead and give some examples for each of your projects, okay? All right, so that's why I didn't start with any type of fun musical thing because I want to go ahead and jump in, okay? Now, one of the things that I need you to do is I need you to take notes, okay? And if you do not understand something or you need to have it repeated, pause the video. That's the beauty. That's why I'm doing video lessons instead of whole group lessons. One, because you can do it anytime, anywhere, okay? Two, you can pause the video, so it's almost like asking me a question and having me repeat it, okay? And then three, you can, it helps you to take notes, pause the video, take notes, jot everything down. That way you have a clear understanding and you're having, it's like having your very own teacher right there in the room with you. So I love video lessons, okay? Now, I just want to say, I know you guys are going through a little bit of senioritis, okay? It's your last year of high school. You are dog tired. You're busy. You have things going on. You're working. You have extracurriculars. You're doing programs and things like that, in addition to your service hours and stuff. So I get it. I get it. I do want to try to have some frequent food. One of the things that really helped me when I was in college is when my professor had food, okay? So I want to have some fun Fridays. You know, every Friday is either A day or B day. And I want to start having maybe some donuts or some pizza. Well, it's still early, so I remember, did you guys like the bagels or did you not like the bagels? You never did tell me that. But because our class is second period and it's so early during the day, it has to be some type of breakfast item that I can pick up on my way to work. So it has to be either bagels or donuts. But I would like to bring that into the classroom starting this Friday if we are all in agreement so that I can get you kind of incentivized to put in the effort to do the work, okay? We just have a couple of more months to go. And then the thing about it is we're going to go into our season of all things graduation, and that's going to be a fun time for us. But we first need to get through, I would say, the next month. If you give me the next 4 weeks to write this report and then put together your presentation, I will not bother you again. I will support you in everything that you want to do inside and outside of the class, okay? So I understand, I feel you, and I want to make it better, okay? All right, let me get back on track here. So the question on the table is donuts or bagels? All right, so our first data collection, we learned the difference between qualitative and quantitative research methods. It was a very high level overview, just enough for us to do our research report and for you to have a basic understanding of these terms when you're going to college, okay? All right, so qualitative research data is not numerical, it's more observational, and that includes observations. So, okay, I'll just go through the list and then I'll talk about what each one is. And I'm working off of lack of sleep. I'm redoing this video from my weekend video. I binge watched a show last night, stayed up to about 2 a.m., and I'm very tired. So I need to get this video and the second video out of the way. I have like 3 emails that I need to write. I may not get to those. So if I start, I don't know, forgetfulness or whatever that may look like, just please give me some grace, okay? All right, so qualitative data, that's going to look like observations, interviews, surveys and polls, case studies, and focus group. And I'm going to talk about each one of those in just a second. And then qualitative research data collection is also observation. As you can see, these overlap, and experiments, surveys and polls, statistics, and questionnaires. And so quantitative data is quantifiable, is numeric, okay? All right, so how do you decide which data collection method to use for your research report? So remember, anytime you are trying to determine an answer, you actually start by asking yourself questions, okay? When you ask yourself questions, that generates thoughts or brainstorming in your head, okay? Because you have to start thinking about, well, I can do this, well, I can do that. That is brainstorming, and you start with the question, okay? So remember, you have already done your preliminary research, okay? We did research in our last step where you went out and you found 3 or 4 sources that fit your topic, okay? What you are looking for. If you have not done that, if you don't have what your research showed, okay, then you need to go back and do that step before coming to this one, okay? Another question is, what will be involved in my data collection method? And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then what resources will I need to complete my data collection? All right, so here's the big change. Here's what I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about not just my example, but your example. So first, I think I do need to talk about my example. Okay, so that's going to get us to brainstorming. All right, so if you remember, my area of service was cleaning, environmental service, and helping the custodial staff clean our building, okay? And then my problem statement was the students vandalizing our bathrooms, trashing, tearing up, misusing the bathroom. And then so that generated a question, okay? And in that, what are the motivations for vandalism in our school? Because then I could make a solution that could say, how can we stop our school bathrooms from being vandalized? So that's my solution, okay, that I'm trying to get to. All right. So now my example, and so I'm going to talk about yours specifically when I go back. I'm just giving you my example now. Remember, pause the video. If I'm speaking too fast and you need to go back and re-listen, pause the video, please. Okay. So remember, I said I was going to create an online survey for all the students in the school. So instead of doing that, I just took it by grade level and I went and visited the 10th grade lunch. Okay. And I did an open survey. Okay. So open means I'm addressing all of the students in the cafeteria. I have my set of questions. I recorded it so I wouldn't have to worry about taking notes. And I basically just threw questions out there. And based upon their answers, I would ask, that was what would drive me to my next question. Okay. So I did a survey. All right. Now, I had intended to do 9th and 10th grade, but I don't think I've got so much to do. Oh, my goodness. I don't think I'm going to get down to the 9th grade lunch, which would have been great because they are over in the annex and they are a very big deal with the bathrooms over there. So I might try to get down there, but it might not happen. But anyway, surveys, that's one of my data collection tools, okay? And I'm going to talk about yours. So I just want you to see my example. Then I jumped down to the third one. I interviewed the lead custodian and the environmental engineer. So they both came to my room. I caught them in the hallway and I said, hey, I know we have a lot of problems with the bathrooms and I'm doing a research report and I would really like to ask you guys some questions. What time in your day do you have that you can come back and answer some of my questions? So they said 1 o'clock and they came back. And I again recorded it. Please, everything that you do, record it, okay? Get their permission. I told them, ask them, do you mind me recording? I'm just using this to take notes so that I can transcribe later. And they were like, no, go ahead. So there was no identifying information in there, okay? Because I already knew who they were. And then, so the next thing I'm going to do, which is this upcoming Wednesday, okay? So I have my information that I've gotten from my custodian, and now I have the information I've gotten from the students, okay? So I'm going to bring that information Wednesday to a focus group. And in that focus group, I'm going to have a couple of cadets, and you are invited if you would like to come and watch. Some teachers, the administrators, the climate manager, any and everybody, okay? And we're going to come to the table and we're going to look for ideas for solutions, okay? So causes, we can address that, but we mostly want to look at solutions, especially for next year, okay? So that is my data collection, okay? I'm doing 3 things. I'm doing a survey with all of the students. I'm interviewing the lead custodian and environmental engineer. And then I am doing a focus group in order to generate some ideas for solutions, okay? So this last bullet that I have, remember, I am trying to answer why. So why are students motivated to vandalize the bathrooms, okay? So you have to ask yourself, well, let me go back. All right, because I wanted to give some thought to each of your organizations, okay? So let me try to slow down a little bit here. The bottom right, let me know if your organization is not here. I use my list that I have of all of the organizations, so yours should be here. But please let me know if I have left anyone's organization off. And please trust my heart that it was only by accident and it certainly was not intentional, okay? All right, so I'm going to take each of these bullets one by one, okay? And I'm going to just give some examples on the things that you can do, okay? So this is where you would really want to pause the video and really give some thought to your organization, okay? And then I group these by the service area, okay? For example, the after school program included the cadets that worked at the YMC, the Caring People Alliance, and then the Temple Upward Bound program, okay? So that after school program, if I am looking at data collection, okay, I would be interested in doing a survey, a group survey. So I would contact the organization and tell them that you need to do some data collection, tell them exactly what you would like to do. Hey, I would like to get all of the kids together and I would like to ask them some questions, okay? And then you have to sit down and make your list of questions. How do you like the after school program? Is it beneficial for you? How long have you been attending? What do you think you would be doing if you were not in the after school program? Do you receive the help that you need as far as homework? Are you caught up with your schoolwork? If not for this after school program, would you not get the help with your homework that you need at home? So you're going to make a whole long list and you're just taking in answers, okay? You're not focusing on one particular person. That's what a survey does. A survey, you're going to say, okay, 3 out of the 5 kids said the after school program was beneficial. Only 1 kid said that he would get the help he needed outside of this program, okay? The other 4 students said no. If it were not for this program, they would not get the help that they need with their homework. So that's how you would transcribe that. That's the data that you're looking for is observational, and you're just doing a overview, okay? Now, in that same breath, okay, in that same vein, if your organization would allow you after school program, you could possibly do a case study, okay? A case study is where the organization would allow you to speak to 1 student, okay? And then you would do a full background on that student. So you would again, and both of these are beneficial. A survey and a case study would definitely make your research much stronger depending on what your research question is. Now you got to understand, guys, everything depends on what your research question is. And so if you have not posted your research question, your problem statement, and your data collection on our Padlet wall, I can't help you, okay? Because I don't know what your thought process is. So you got to get that information on the Padlet wall so that I can go through, and you got to let me know that it's there, okay? I don't just look at the Padlet wall just for the fun of it. I only go on there when I think there may be some new information there, okay? All right, so back to this case study. So if you are working with one individual after school student, this is a middle school student, okay? Remember, I said you have to assure your organization that you are not collecting any personal data, okay? So the only thing that you're telling your organization is, hey, I would like to do a case study on little Jane here, and I can give Jane a pseudonym. So if Jane's real name is Jane, a pseudonym would be a fake name, okay? So Jane would be Janet, okay? So, and you can ask their age, but you can't ask their birthday. No address, no school you go to, none of that. Okay. You can ask the grade level, but not the school, because that's identifying information. Okay. So let me go back through the information that you can ask. You can give a pseudo name, meaning give your case study a fake name. You can ask their age, but not their birthday. And you can ask their grade, but not their school. All right, so in that case study, you want to know how long this kid has been attending the YMCA or the Upward Bound program. And especially the Upward Bound program, a case study would be great because you would want to know how that student came to be there, how that program, because not everyone, we had that when I was growing up, and I remember hearing about it, but never got in. So what is the selection process like? Why do some kids get it and some kids do not? What do you have to be or not have to be in order to take part in that very esteemed program? Other questions you can ask, lots of questions that you can ask. So I don't want to get stuck on that because I have all these organizations that I have to go through. Observations were the things that you observed while you were doing your service hours. So those are going to come up when you're doing your research paper, just period. Okay. The things you noticed, the things you wondered about, the things you saw. So you're already going to include observations. Okay. So I've talked about case studies, surveys. You could also do a focus group. Your focus group is going to be similar to your surveys, but your focus group, you have a particular focus that you want to work on. So like mine, I wanted to work on solutions for my focus group. So that could be what you are working on, a solution to an issue that you have found, or a solution to whatever. I don't have examples for you, but you know your organization, your service, and your research question, okay? Interviews, okay? Your interviews would be your mentors. Some of you have your interviews and some of you do not. This is a great way for you to get demographic information on the organization and the impact the organization has been making to the community. Going back to the Temple Upward Bound program, how long have it been established? How many kids have come through there and participated in the program? And then do they track the students once they leave? How many students have successfully attained a bachelor's or a master's? Or what is the impact that this program is actually making that makes it viable every year, okay? The same with the YMCA, and the same with, what's the other one? The Caring People Alliance, okay? That one is specific to STEM, okay? So you could still do interviews, surveys, and case studies and focus groups, okay? All right, let's move on. So I'm hoping that this is giving you some ideas, okay? You pause the video, you give it some thought, okay? Think about your organization, think about the environment, think about the kids, the people that are served, and decide which one of those that you can physically do, okay? Young adult outreach. So I'm going to do both of the outreach, young adult and young women, okay? So let's go back to our list here. you know what? That's actually exactly the same thing. Okay. The observations came when you were there. Okay. You can interview and do a case. You can interview your mentor. You can do a survey group wide. Okay. You can do a case study where you're delving into the background. Please do a case study because I would love to hear one person's background, one person's story that led them to this. Okay. And this is what you're sharing with your peers as an awareness message, as a preventative message. Okay. And then possibly a focus group. If they have more than one teen or more than one youth that they are serving at one time, I really don't know if the teams come into the organization or the organization goes out to the team. That's what you have to finesse. Okay. But if they allow you to go out, or if they allow you to come in contact with them, you have to talk to your mentor. And this is where building a good communication rapport with your mentor is going to come in handy when you're wanting to do your data collection. Okay. So pretty much all of the data collection that we talked about for the after school program, you can do the exact same thing for your young people outreach. Okay. Homeless shelter and elder care, both of those, and home care, all three of those can be together. Okay. And so now all three of those lend themselves very well to surveys. Okay. Because when I visited the Tucker House, they always have like activity time. Okay. Or eating time where all of the guests or the clients are together in one room. So you can go to your mentor, tell your mentor that you would like to survey the entire group. Okay. And now, I guess you can do it toward the end of mealtime because you don't want people to be chewing and talking at the same time. But it gives you your built-in audience. Okay. And then I really would like to see you do a case study on one individual. Okay. The Delaware Veterans Home, please. I just talked with Mr. Jones there, Hobson, and he says that you guys have, or the home has a gentleman, a veteran of World War II that is 105 years old. So if this beauty, okay, of a soul is still coherent, okay, where he can answer questions, I would absolutely love for you to interview him and bring that transcription, bring that recording. I would actually love to hear that recording. Bring that back to the classroom. Man, you get your own set of bagels and juice all to you, all to yourself if you do that. 105. This is what we can only dare to dream. Imagine the experiences this person has, the generations that he's seen, the decades, the changes. I'm complaining about, one or two generations, but this man has seen 3, 4 iterations. I wonder what his family looked like. How many grandkids does he have? That's just a wondrous thing. Okay. But anyway, so Tucker House, the same thing. And Stinton Family Manor, the same exact thing. Do a survey and a case study. Okay. If you want, you can do a focus group, focusing on something, anything, a solution preferably, but getting ideas, brainstorming, getting others' opinions and things like that. Okay. All right. So let's see. Who else do we have? The home health care. Okay. So we have Morton that's doing the nurse shadowing. And then we have Sharif that's doing the ALS Hope Foundation. All right. So nurse shadowing and ALS. I don't, if I remember correctly, I don't think either of you are actually working directly with the clientele. So I would say interviewing your mentor, okay, doing that, and then possibly asking them if you could do a case study, okay? If you cannot do a case study, then I would let you just do your observations and interviewing your mentor, okay? So, and that goes for everyone. If you are not directly working with clientele, that you are not able to do a survey or do a case study or a focus group, then that's okay. All right. That is totally, totally okay. Parks and Recreation and the free library. Parks and Rec, I don't remember from the little bit that you told me. Yours was more organizing, and then I think you helped with some drives and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure how you're going to get your data. Okay. Free library, I think you did work with kids after school. So when I talked about the after school youth program, those things would apply to you also. Case studies, focus groups if you can, and interviews if you can. Parks and Recs, if you have any trouble, just let me know. All right. I will be looking on the Padlet wall for your data collection. And in fact, this assignment, you have to upload your data collection. Okay. And I'll talk about that in just a second. PMA, cadet leadership. Oh my God, the world is yours. Okay. You can do anything. Okay. Interviews, observations, lots and lots of things that you've observed over the years and in your capacity as leadership. Surveys, you're in a prime position to do surveys, and a focus group. You can do that as well. So there are lots of things for you to do. PMA environmental services. Why don't you just model mine? Okay. Do a survey, do an interview, do a not necessarily a case study, but maybe a focus group. Okay. PMA yearbook and organization. Oh, ooh. Yearbook. You can interview Miss P. You can interview, I don't know if there's like a team of yearbook people. You can also do interviews of your peers. Okay. We can discuss that more. Who is that? Jones, in terms of what your data collection would look like. Okay. PMA organization. And again, interviewing your mentor. Oh, the surveying of the teachers, creating a form and then surveying the teachers, the English teachers, on the before and after of the book room, and the positivity and the more productivity that will occur because of it being organized. Okay. You won't need to do a focus group or a case study, but you can include your observations in there as well, before you started organizing it. Okay, so did I do the homeless shelter? Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so I think I lumped them in. Yes, the elder care with the homeless shelter. But again, I do want to say with the homeless shelter, please do a case study. Please, okay? Each of you, I would like for you to do a case study, okay? Because I would like to have a variety of backgrounds that we can examine, that we can come to understand, okay? So please do a case study as one of yours. You can use your interview as your other one. You can do a survey of a group of people. You won't necessarily be doing a focus group, okay? But you can do a survey where you are speaking openly to the group, at mealtime or something like that. So you can easily do that, okay? All right. Again, if I have missed anyone's organization, please let me know. So we are generating ideas for you to do your data collection. Now, you have to understand, now you have to do the actual task-oriented part, and that's contacting your organization, your mentor, making a plan for when you are going in, honoring that time when you are going in. Please don't go back on your word. That's a bad character trait, okay? When you tell someone that you are going to be there, it is your word that you will be there. And if something happens that you cannot be there, then you call and let them know, okay? So you're going to tell them so when you contact your mentor, preferably by phone, okay, that text and stuff, come on guys, contact your mentor so you can explain to them, hey, as you know, I need to do some research for my report. So I need to do some data collection. Here's what I would like to do. And please tell me if I can do this, okay? And then you tell them what you're going to do. I would like to interview my mentor and ask you some questions on the impact your organization is having to the community. And then I would also like to do a case study. If we were talking about the homeless shelter, I would also like to do a case study on one of the clientele there. Okay. So the more information that you have for your mentor, and the less questions they have to ask. Okay. You don't want them guessing. You want to be direct, upfront, and articulate in your discussion about your data collection method. Okay. And remember, please, you have to tell them no privacy, no private information will be recorded. Okay. All right. So pause that, listen to it a couple of times if you need to, write it down in your notebook. Okay. So that you are reinforcing it in your head. All right. And then get to stepping. Okay. That brings me to my man R. Kelly, Step in the Name of Love. Okay. Now, he has some legal issues, but I don't judge the artist. I just enjoy the talent. All right, but anyway, that's a debatable subject right there, so I won't go there. Your assignment for this lesson, okay? So I'm going to do away with the quizzes because we are going to start actually writing, okay? And I'm tired of the quizzes, and I know you are too, okay? So gone with the quizzes. All right, but you will have to upload 3 documents, okay? So you're going to download and save the template that I have, okay, for your data collection methods. This is the template, and it's going to be uploaded into Google. So you want to download it and save it. Save it with your last name. Change the information here, correct date, your name, and whatever class that you're in. Leave the rest of it the same. Just put your information behind it, okay? So we are going to write these 3 things over and over and over again, okay? And then what are your data collection methods, okay? These are my 3. You're going to choose one, and then behind this, you are going to give me a description of how you plan to do this. So, okay, I'm going to show you mine in just a second, and you'll be able to see that. But this is the template that you are going to use, okay? So here is mine, and here it is filled out. Please use complete sentences, young adults. Please use capital letters and punctuation. Please do not use contractions, okay? Please check your spelling to make sure all words are spelled correctly, okay? Here, down to your data collection methods, okay? You're going to give me a brief description of what you plan to be doing, okay? So that when, not if, when your mentor calls me and say, hey, Ms. Anderson, I just want to check on this and make sure that, this cadet is supposed to be doing this, okay? I have to know what you are supposed to be doing so that I can tell them, yes, that's correct. They are going to be doing a focus group, okay? So a brief one sentence, maybe 2 if necessary. My focus group will bring stakeholders together. So stakeholders, instead of me writing out teachers, students, climate manager, administration, custodial team. So instead of me writing all those names out, I just use one name, and that's stakeholders, because all of these people have a stake in our bathrooms being clean and unvandalized, okay? My focus group will bring stakeholders together to discuss causes and that should be solutions for our school bathrooms. Okay. So that's the purpose of my focus group. Okay. I know it's going to be in the school. Okay. And you're going to actually give me the date of yours as well. Okay. Interview. I interviewed, or I will interview, the head custodian and our building engineer. So if your interview has already taken place, then that's a past tense sentence, okay? I interviewed my mentor on such and such a date. Transcript would be included with this upload, okay? And if you have not, I will interview, and then you're going to give me that date. You're going to give me the name of the person, first and last name that you're going to interview, and then the date that you're going to do that, okay? Survey. I went to the cafeteria and I surveyed 9th and 10th grade. So again, that's either going to be in the, that should be in the future, okay? Who are you going to survey? How are you going to survey them? And then when are you going to survey them, okay? You will also submit your transcripts from your data collection study. So that's the other 2 documents, okay? All right, so download and save the template. Decide on your data collection methods, focus group, interview, case study, okay? Create your data collection tools, okay? The list of interview questions for both your surveys and your interviews, okay? And your focus group. So all of those are going to need to have a list of questions, okay? One each data collection method and 2 total, okay? Then you're going to implement your tools and then contact your mentor as needed. And then you're going to submit in Google, okay? So this assignment won't be actually submitted until you have finished your data collection. I'll say that again. This assignment is going to be ongoing, and it will not be finished until you have, it won't be submitted until you have finished your data collection and your transcription. So in Google, you're going to submit your data collection methods, that template that I just showed you, and your 2 transcripts from your studies. So that's 3 separate documents together, okay? 3 separate documents. This is what you need to write down in your notes. For this assignment, I will submit my data collection methods and my 2 transcripts. So now I think I have a date. Yes, here's the date, okay? So, all right, so yeah, we're coming to the end of this video, thankfully, mercifully, oh my goodness. So you're submitting 3 documents for this assignment, no quiz, okay? One is your data collection method. That's the template that I just showed you. And then the other 2 are your transcribed studies. Now, if you only have, we did say there were some exceptions to that. If you were not public facing or clientele facing, and you cannot do an interview, a case study, or a focus group, then I will allow you just to drop down to your interview, and you still have your observations that could count as 2, okay? You are given 2 weeks to complete this assignment, okay? Most, if not all of you, should be finished with your service hours. And if you are not finished, then this actually allows you to combine 2 birds with 1 stone, meaning you can get your service hours and your data collection at the same time. So you will be contacting your mentor, telling them that you want to come in to do your hours. Hint, hint, who is that? Lopez, Helms, Wells. Come on, guys. Step up to the plate. Ooh. Home runs. My little baseball humor. All right, you can see I'm getting delirious from lack of sleep. But anyway, 2 weeks, okay? Because we can't, remember, we need to finish our research report. We have a goal, okay? We need to finish it before, I was about to say Thanksgiving break, but before spring break. That is the goal, okay? So all studies, either in school or with your organization, okay? In school, meaning if you're PMA leadership or anything like that, and with your organization, they need to be completed by Sunday, March 17th, okay? Sunday, March 17th. So that means you need to make a plan and you need to be task-oriented, okay? You are going to be a much happier person, a much peaceful person, a much more agreeable person, a person that's not angry and walking around and mad at Miss Anderson. You will be a much happier person if you put the pedal to the metal and do what you have to do. Okay? I can't express that any other way. What they used to tell me, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Just do it. Okay? I think that's it. I'm not going to do the Ask 3 before me. I think I've explained a lot in this lesson as far as our data collection, okay? When you do come to me for your questions, I'm going to ask you all of these questions. I'm going to ask you what your area of service is, what is your problem statement, what is your research question, and what did you research? What did your research show? What solutions, if any, or any type of argument are you going to make with your research report? Okay. I'm going to ask you all of those things. And if you already have them flushed out, then it makes it a whole lot easier to answer your questions. Okay. All righty then. So that wraps up this lesson. Okay. I can't think of anything else other than good luck. Happy data collecting. Okay, and I'll see you on the next video, which we go into writing our outline. Woo! Bye, guys.